Hey guys, what's happening? That was a like a military salute, by the way, not a I don't know. I got a kind of a special video to do today. I'm gonna probably break it up into at least 2 parts because I'm not gonna upload a 30 or 40-minute video. No one wants to fucking see that. I mean, I do watch videos of some of you guys that have long ones, but I don't know. I just don't feel like doing it. Plus the uploading part, I don't know how that works. I don't know how. Anyway, this is going to be probably 2 videos, and it's a video in which I'm going to talk about Black Sabbath. I said before I was going to. Black Sabbath are my all-time favorite bands. They are literally the band that got me into metal. I don't think, from my deepest recollections, I don't remember listening to a whole lot of heavy stuff before I heard Sabbath. Heard them when I was a younger teenager. I lived in a really fucking small town with internet was like just coming into play. But anyway, I'm thankful for that because for that reason I got to get into Black Sabbath in the 90s as to where probably not very many people did. Yeah, they are a big part of my musical history, will you call it that or whatever, but I can't possibly, and I won't be saying anything about Sabbath that is new or revolutionary. I'm no expert, but they're fun to talk about. They have such a lengthy discography. They have so many band members that have came and left. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this: they have not made a bad record. And all that music all those records that they put out, not a bad one. I will say the one that I like the least is probably going to be that 13, I think it was called, their most recent one. Didn't like it, but I didn't think it was bad. I didn't buy it. I fucking listened to it online, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll own it someday. But everything else that they've done other than that album, I can listen to without a problem. So, I mean, for a band to have such a lengthy discography with the quality that they have, I mean, that is, as far as I'm concerned, unsurpassed. I want to say Rush because they're like probably my number 2 favorite band, but Rush have put out some fairly boring records. I think Sabbath's legacy is a little more interesting than Rush's, and I hate to say that. But anyway, I've been rambling for 2.5 minutes, so let's fucking get this going. Before I start that video, I want to throw this fucking thing out because this is hilarious. I've had this for a couple months now. I live or at least I used to live. I live in Washington State now, almost right on the Idaho border, but I've lived in Idaho for the last 20 years. I did, North Idaho. It is one of the fucking most red states you will ever find, at least the north part. Stay the fuck out, man. Don't go there. But anyway, I want to show you guys something that really represents that fucking shitty part of the world. Anyways, look at this shit. This was from I stole this off the side of the road. This was from one of the recent local elections. Yeah, look at this. Vote no for Judge Demon Lord Peterson. Demon Lord. I've never heard of this guy because I don't give a fuck, but apparently he is known in my town as Demon Lord. I mean, that is some fucking Skyrim level 35 Dungeons and Dragons bullshit. I mean, I'm a nerd, but fuck, man. I don't take shit like that serious. Demons? I mean, you might as well say Unicorn Rider or some fucking bullshit. But anyway, I thought someone's going to get a kick out of that. If any of you have something like that to show from your town, please fucking share it, because I believe this is just unsurpassed. I don't think anything could be more fucking ridiculous than that. You're welcome. Alright, on to the music. Black Sabbath. What I did at first was I just had all the albums lined up chronologically, but I decided that was kind of fucking boring. So what I did was I put them in order from my favorite to least favorite, which was hard. I'll admit I'm kind of inspired, although this guy doesn't inspire me whatsoever. I got the idea from Sam Dunn, Canadian documentary maker / shitty metal reviewer. Seems like a nice guy, but his fucking YouTube channel is retarded. But anyway, he did a Sabbath video where he had Martin Popoff, who I'm not that familiar with Martin. He's a metal journalist, I think, or something like that. Pretty cool guy, long time Sabbath fan. I respect Martin, at least from what little I've seen from him. He did say some things about certain Sabbath albums that I completely disagree with, but they're opinions. He's not wrong nor right. So, anyways, from favorite to least favorite, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I will have to say that there are 2 Sabbath albums I don't own. Like I said, 13 don't have, and another one that I do want and like, but I don't have it. I've never owned it. Is the Eternal Idol. It's kind of a relatively hard one to find. At least I've never sought it out, but I've also never seen it in a store. Never really had the chance to just pick it up, as to where all these I bought in person over the years. So I don't have Eternal Idol. It is a fucking good album. So I'm going to throw it in there anyways, even though I don't have it. Whatever. I wanted this to be complete. So, and by the way, I would really love to hear you guys. I definitely, I love talking Sabbath, and I love hearing people's. Literally every Sabbath fan has a different favorite album, and I'd say I like hearing about it. So go ahead and chime in, tell me about your favorites, least favorites. Let's do this. All right, number 1. Like I said, this is really hard. I really love these albums. And also mention, sorry, I keep fucking interrupting myself. These are only studio albums. I don't have very many live albums. I don't have any singles or anything like that. It's the studio albums only. I have a couple live albums that I'll throw in there at the end. They're not going to be part of this, really. Number 1. This was hard. This is painful, but I had to do it. Heaven and Hell. Iconic album cover. I love it. Iconic album for me. I'm not going to say this is the album that most represents Sabbath, but this is barely, mind you. But this has to be my favorite. I've listened to that album thousands of times. It is a part of me. It's untouchable, almost, in the pantheon of music, metal in general. Yeah, that's my number 1. Number 2. This is probably going to be pretty uncommon for anyone's number 2 in the Sabbath discography, but it's mine, over the years anyways. Not so much when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I really dig the Tony Martin era Sabbath. This is Headless Cross. This album is so fucking good. I love Tony Martin. I love the Martin era, and this is, for me, this is the cream of the crop. I'll throw this in just because why not? Have it on vinyl. This is not an easy one to come by on vinyl or CD, so I'm really, really proud to have that. All right, guys, number 3. Growing up, getting into Sabbath, and then after, just completely being obsessed with them, I pretty much almost exclusively listened to Ozzy era. I don't know why, but that's just what drew me in. As of late, I'd say the last 10 years or even 15 years, I kind of lean towards... I listen to the Ozzy era at the very least. That might just be because I listened to so much of it growing up, and maybe I burnt out a little bit. So anyway, this order of favorites or whatever, the order that these are in, it's kind of how I feel now, not opposed to how I felt as a kid. It would have been much different. We probably wouldn't flip-flopped. But next one, fucking lost the case. I only have the CD now. I'll have to replace that. Sabotage. This is an incredible album. This is the 10 out of 10 metal album. Honestly, it's probably a better album than those first 2 I just named in terms of quality. It is a monster of an album. It's a mind fuck. It's a trippy album. It's heavy as fuck. It's weird. It's just it's very spacey at times. It has a lot to dig into. I'm just gonna give quick descriptions on all these and how I feel about them. But Sabotage, man, for me, I don't know what I would have said. As a kid, I probably would have said Paranoid. I listened to that album a lot. But nowadays, for Ozzy era, man, it's Sabotage. That album is it's amazing. Mind-bending shit, especially for the time it came out. Next, this is an album I really don't remember ever hearing anyone talk about until the last, 5 to 8 years. I feel like this one's getting a lot more love. And as it should, it's a fucking good album. Born Again. As you know, this is the one album that had Ian Gillan from Deep Purple on vocals. This album's killer, man. It doesn't sound like Sabbath. It doesn't sound like anything they've done. It's heavy as fuck. It's got one of my favorite Sabbath songs, and probably favorite songs in general. Disturbing the Priest. It's just so fucking cool. So yeah, Born Again, number 4. Number 5 is the other classic Ronnie James Dio album, Mob Rules. Does it deserve number 5? It probably deserves a little higher than that. It's so fucking good, but I'm sorry, that's the best I can come up with. Growing up, I would say I would often try to choose my favorite between Mob Rules and Heaven and Hell, and I would kind of go back and forth. But at my age now, I'm kind of firm in my, thinking higher of Heaven and Hell than Mob Rules. But they're very close. They should probably be neck and neck as far as quality goes. By the way, a couple of these, sadly, I've lost the cases years ago and haven't replaced. So, yeah, whatever. And this one, here's another hard one to come by. It'll be some time before I find it at a reasonable price, probably. And that is Tear, one of the other Tony Martin albums. Very good. Didn't like it, Louis. I'm sorry. You all know Louis by now. I didn't like it for many years. I don't know why. I don't know what I was thinking. It's a phenomenal fucking album. It's catchy. It's well written. Tony Martin's vocals are still. He's still at his peak. He was in his prime still. Yeah, great album. What are we at? I don't know. Number 7. This is, like I said, one of the albums that I don't have and have never owned. And that's going to be Eternal Idol, which is one of the other Tony Martin albums. Louis, stop. Go lay down. Go lay down. One of the other Tony Martin albums also has one of my favorite Sabbath songs ever. Title track, The Eternal Idol. Holy fuck, man. That is just a heavy, amazing doom song. It's mesmerizing. Eternal Idol. There you go. Number 8. God damn it. 7, 8, 3. So number 8. That's where we're at. It's playing right now. This album was also a major fucking grower for me. I didn't even really like it that much until the last 5 years probably, and that is Seventh Star. Seventh Star, you may or may not know, this was intended to be a Tony Iommi solo album. Sabbath wasn't doing so hot at the time. In fact, only Iommi plays on this album from any Sabbath lineup. It's got other dudes. It doesn't have Geezer Butler or Bill Ward, anything like that. It's got Eric Carr from Kiss on drums, and what can I say? This is a fantastic album, especially once again the title track, Seventh Star. Holy shit! Just a mesmerizing, amazing song. And this album, quite underrated. This is quality from start to finish, and there's no debating that. So don't even try. All right, gotta keep forgetting where I'm at. Number 9. This is actually, just due to my age, this is one of the first Sabbath albums I heard. This might have been the first. Dehumanizer. This was Dio's final album with Sabbath. He did Born Again and Heaven and Hell. Not in that order. But anyway, he did those 2. Then he was exited from the band, replaced by Tony Martin for quite a few years. And then Tony Martin was out of the band. Dio stepped back in. They made a killer, heavy fucking album. And then they kicked Dio's ass out again because he was kind of an asshole. Or, I'm sure that's what they say anyway. But anyway, they made this is their heavy, I'm going to go ahead and say this is their, at least in a modern sense, this is their, by conventional standards, their heaviest album. Don't debate me. Don't come in and say, fuck you, man, those first 2 albums are heavy. All of Sabbath albums are heavy, and they pretty much invented heavy, goddamn near it. But anyways, modern, conventional speaking, this is their heaviest album, at least in a more metal sense. Yeah, you can talk shit, I don't care, whatever. Yeah, I love it. Number 10, missing the case, but whatever. Paranoid. Fuck, man, I listened to Paranoid a lot as a kid. This is, I think, my original copy. If I were to flip it over, it probably doesn't even play anymore. It's probably paper thin. I played this so much, and it is a great album. It's heavy. For 1971, it's heavy as shit. Very heavy. Crushing. It's unprecedented heaviness, man. It's just Sabbath. One of their heaviest albums, really, especially of their earlier days. I love it. I haven't listened to it even once probably in almost 10 years, but I'll have to change that. Love it. So anyway, that's 10 or 11 albums. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. And because like I said, I don't want this to be 30, 40 minutes long. So I'm going to, I think I'll pick up another time. We'll finish this off. Anyways, I hope you've watched this long, and I hope you continue to watch the next and finish it off and talk to me about Sabbath. Yeah, have a good day, guys. Thanks for stopping by.